All right, and welcome to Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions. I am your host, Smoking Jeremy B. We've got Will Vogel in the house, Nate the Great, and Neil, aka the Bandit from Bandit Sports. Welcome in, everybody. Let's talk about this win yesterday. Will, who was your top five?
So my top five go in no particular order. Jared Goff, Jameer Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Anzalone, and Walker.
Nice. Nate, who's your top five?
So I'm going to go the other way and give the more underrated players some props. So I'm going to go with the Dancing Bear at number one. If you don't know who that is, that's Lee McNeil. Dude's just
Yeah.
beasting out right now, eating everything he can get. Graham Glasgow for stepping up and playing well at center. Didn't hear a lot from him. And the dude just can play any position, man. He is a Swiss Army knife on that line. Cam shut down. Once again, the dude just shuts everybody down. If you watch the broadcast, Troy and Joe Buck were just like amazed how Cam was just everywhere Devontae Adams went. Jerry Jacobs, because Jerry Jacobs is starting to turn into a guy. He's got the sword. He plays sticky coverage. I think that play on Renfro was awesome. Pretty much indicative of how Jerry's been playing all year. Right there, knocks the ball out. Is very aware of what's going to happen. Can read the offense. And then I got to give it to Kirby, man. Kirby got his first one. He said himself that great ones go get the ball, and that's what he does. And hey, man, if Kirby can get on the roll and start getting more picks, man, this secondary has become one of the better secondaries in the NFL.
All right, Neil, who's your top five?
First, my top five. First, let's give a shout out to the defensive coordinator. Showing, Aaron Glenn. Gotta give it out there, shutting down the receivers over there. You feel me? Making poor start.
Kudos to him pulling his head out of his ass. Yes,
he got it out of there. But then my boy Gibbs, you feel me? They finally I told you I could run the ball in the middle. Y'all didn't want to believe me. Better watch the tape. Show it out.
Hey, what did I say? What did I say? In the NFL, he couldn't run it like he did in college. He ran it like an NFL player yesterday. He was getting that twitch right before the hole. That was the difference.
And you can see just one thing about Gibbs that I think we haven't seen in a guy like Swift and a guy like Williams, that jump cut. When he made that jump cut on that defender, he was gone.
You keep that pad level so low.
That's that twitch I'm talking about too.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we drafted a guy like him, because not only is he got that jump cut to get out of harm's way, but also too he's got the breakaway speed to get to the end zone. How many times does Swift get caught right at the goal line, or ran out of bounds or whatever it was,
or Gibbs, fell down before contact?
Yeah, or fell down. Yeah, but Gibbs, you can see why Gibbs is special. Anyways, go ahead.
Go ahead, Neil.
Gibbs, that's two. My third. It's two people, you feel me, because they work together. That's Cam shut down and Jerry Jacobs, you feel me, what they did on the outside, shutting down. You know what I mean? How about the six people we had on offensive line, because somebody did get hurt offensive line, even though we were scattered everywhere. They still
only gave up one sack with all those pressures.
He held it down.
Got a couple holding calls, but that's okay. I mean,
but they weren't on Panay Sewell. Hallelujah.
Yeah. Panay played
the person that's Mr. Consistent all the time, who don't get who always work, you feel me, but don't get the hype for it. I'm a raw man. He always doing his thing, man.
And he played and he felt like shit the whole game, and he still balled out.
Yeah, and he had the flu.
Man.
This was his flu game. Think about this. He had 6 catches and 100 yards receiving with the flu.
He showed up like Michael Jordan in the playoffs with the cold. You feel me? It's still his thing.
It's so funny when you watch Amon-Ra. And you watch the other receivers like a Jefferson and you watch a Hill, and they make explosive plays, and that's how they get their big yards. Amon-Ra just is steady Eddie. He gets a couple of explosives, but for the most part, he's a steady Eddie, man.
Okay.
He just goes about his business.
I'm gonna give mine. At 5, I have Amon-Ra. At 4, I got the whole O-line.
Your list sound like mine right now.
3, at 3, I'm going to do an unsung hero none of you mentioned, because if he wasn't in the lineup at that time, 3 sacks wouldn't have happened. Broderick Martin, 3rd round pick, 96
I
overall.
had a feeling that was coming.
Aleem
Oh,
got
yeah,
a
he was
sack.
ready for that
Walker
one.
got
He
a
was waiting
sack.
for that.
Annalise even got a sack to start off. Come on now. Broderick Martin had 10 sacks, 10 snaps, and 3 sacks with him at the D tackle eating up extra blockers. That is what I was talking about. That is what we wanted. On that run play, when we stuffed them, when Aleem stuffed the guy at the line down in the red zone, guess who was there? Eating up 3 blockers. Broderick
That
Martin.
Burrito Jones.
No, not Burrito Jones. Burrito Jones was wrapped up like a hot tortilla. As what's his name? Afro Man would say in Colt 45. Wrapped him up like a hot tortilla.
So what do we think about the DT rotation? Is it going to be more of whoever has a better practice that is going to be up for the game outside of Burrito and Aleem?
I think Bugs is going to be playing more than Burrito going forward. I think Bugs proved he's a catalyst. So I think we're going to see more of Bugs, more of Martin, and less of Benito.
But you say that, but this staff has not given any reason of why Burrito would go lower than Bugs. Like Bugs being a healthy scratch was a surprise to me.
I think that's all it got to do with their game plan and who they feel.
It had to do with him skipping practice again. That's 100% what it was.
He
Every time
practice.
he missed a practice on Saturday.
For what?
Doesn't matter.
Oh.
Zachary Cleary says it's about time that Broderick Martin showed up on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like I said in the chat before this podcast, you know, you put Aleem and you put Broderick Martin in the starting lineup. That's a lot of girth and a lot of space inside.
Right, and when we run that 5-man set with the 3 DTs, you throw Bugs or Benito next to him. What the O-line is stopping that girth?
Exactly. And Broderick Martin allows Aleem to still roam and rush the passer. Broderick just fills the space. And he can rush the passer too, but I think they're going to want him to basically fill the more of the space and just stop the run.
Right. That's
let Aleem.
You want to give us 3 people?
That being said, yeah, I know. I haven't because we expanded I gave Broderick Martin one. Kirby Joseph and Jahmyr Gibbs is my number 1. 100%. Yeah. Anytime you have a running back with his receiving yards and his rushing yards outgain the entire other offense, how can he not be your number 1? And he's up for Rookie of the Week, and he should be. And I think it's going to come down to a toss-up between him and Will Levis with what he did with Tennessee.
Listen, we gave him the ball the first drive 7 times in the first drive. Like, they made sure they was going to get him going. Shout out to our coaching staff. Y'all want us to use them? Here we go.
And one thing we talked about on the pregame show when we did the highlights, we talked about with Gibbs. At least I said this. I'm sure y'all were thinking it too. But Gibbs has played in big time games. He played for Alabama. He's played for Georgia Tech.
Yeah,
those are powerhouses. Or at least one of them is, but they're powerhouse teams and conferences. So Gibbs is not scared of the big moment. And you could see when he got Monday night, and you knew that Monty was on the sideline. You knew that he was going to be up for this game, and he was not going to have a donut. You know?
Right. You know who had you know who ran scared, and he's in my bottom 5. Craig Reynolds.
Yeah.
Craig Reynolds ran scared all night. He looked hesitant at the hole, refused to get any push in the red zone. And I don't know if he was down or not. There wasn't enough video evidence to overturn the fumble, and that's just how it goes. If there isn't enough evidence, the play calls a stand. But I hated the fact that they made the call after the play was over. It didn't happen right at the time.
And you hear no whistle or anything of that either.
Right.
I feel like Netflix was doing his thing when he had his time out there, though. So, like, I didn't think he ran scared. You feel me? Like, he put up some
he had some moments, man. But I mean, he kind of did look he kind of looked a little indecisive on his runs.
They had over like
And
4 yards. Both of them was
Braylon
over.
Dennis nailed it. He tried. Think about it. Cleet Blakeman tried. He gave Oakland every chance to have the refs take the game and give it to them.
Right.
Because there was quite a few questionable or bad calls, or no calls for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
For both teams, though. You got to look at it from both
It was a
sides.
pretty clean game for the most part. They really didn't call a lot of
It was
penalties.
probably the cleanest game I've ever seen the Lions play with Cleet Blakeman as the head ref.
Yeah.
See, Jameer had 5.8 yards to carry, and Reynolds had 5.3 yards to carry. So he ran back.
Fumble. He ran scared.
I think it was. I don't know.
You can't turn over the ball in the red zone, man. You just can't do that, especially when.
Hey, if we're gonna jump on Jamal Williams for doing it when he was on the one versus Dallas, I'm damn sure gonna do it against a bad defense like Oakland.
Yeah.
And then Josh Reynolds had that fumble.
Yeah, we got to clean that shit up.
He made a tough catch. He was trying to pull it in.
Yeah, I understand, but when he pulled it in, he didn't get the other hand over there to secure it. That is wide receiver 101. I don't care if you pull it in with one hand. Within your next step, get the other hand over there. Otherwise, it's going to get punched out like it did.
Secure the ball first and then do everything else second.
So my bottom five, and I'm going to start us off, and then we'll go to Nate. I have Craig Reynolds at 5. I have Josh Reynolds at 3. I have Coyote Awasika, who was one of the 2 holding calls we had. Was it a holding and a false start we had? Yeah, it was a holding and a false start on the O-line. The false start was rookie jitters. You know who that was. That was Colby Solsdahl, but he had one hell of a fantastic game overall.
He's getting better.
He had a fantastic game. Him and Sewell gave up nothing. At 3, Jared Goff in the pick. Say what you want. He only threw 1 touchdown pass. He threw a couple of bad passes that should have been picked off other than that. And that pick, granted, I understand he was trying to throw it out of bounds. It was way behind Saint. Marcus Peters made a great play. Kudos to him. But he should have threw it a half second sooner, and that play doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely right.
Number 2, Chad, I have my panel. I set them up before the show. But anyways, where was I at? Number 2.
Number 2, yeah.
The guy that never even sniffed the field, and thank God, because he makes burnt toast look like Wonder Bread, Will Harris.
God, terrible. You just give him like.
But number 1, I really don't have 5. I got 4. That's all I got.
I'm surprised you got 4, man. I don't think I have 5.
I got the 3 for sure. I think I got those right.
Well, I can name you 5.
Name me 5, Neil.
All right, 5 at 5th. I got Jared Goff. Man, just throw the ball out of bounds, man.
Exactly, man.
That almost ruined my night, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, I gave everybody a heart attack.
Man, our wide receivers just fumbling and dropping the ball as a unit. We gotta catch hold to the balls. J-Mo dropped the ball. LaPorta dropped the ball. Craig fumbled. Josh fumbled. So that's collectively as a receiver tight end group. We gotta get that together. That's at 3. I got
I know.
Even though he went on our team, porn star Jimmy sucks. So he on there.
J-Mo.
2, Devontae Adams. He came back to Detroit, got shut down. And that Raiders coaching staff just sucked. That's
we're supposed to give it the Lions players, not the Raiders.
No. Everybody else was cool. You feel me? Was cool. Everybody else.
J-Mo. That drop was horrendous.
That was all a unit. He came back and got one right after that. So kudos, going back, put your head back in there. Catch the next one. So that's my 5. Like I said, just still J-Mo's rookie year, man.
He's still learning, man. Yeah, that's why they got People Jones, man. They're not going to rush the guy.
And Brent comes in and says, "Hey, Smoke and Jeremy." Braylon Netta says St. Brown was on a crossing route. As soon as St. Brown hit that turn, Goff should have threw it then. He actually should have thrown it 3 yards earlier in that turn. Not when he turned upfield, but before he even made the turn.
Goff also missed a wide open St. Brown play, too, for a touchdown.
And welcome in.
Hey. Okay, he threw an interception, but what did he do in the next drive? Go
Same
down and
thing he
score.
always
That's what
does.
they do. So
Let's welcome in the one and only Chicken Nugget.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's
Yay!
up?
Chicken.
So the key stats, I think I already gave it in one shot.
Oh.
Oh, you got your cold, Will?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your cold?
I'll go real quick.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Melifonwu, Dorsey, Pascal Wright, and Craig Reynolds.
what did Minnesota do?
I'm
What
trying
Dorsey
to
do?
I'm trying to say what Melifonwu did because I don't think he hardly played.
Exactly.
That's not because he was on the bench. Gotcha.
But with Kirby Joseph
Come
coming
on,
back,
man.
man, you weren't expecting to get no playing time like that. No, you feel me? So like,
That being said, Chicken Nugget, who is your hot players?
Hey, Kirby Joseph, Ali McNeil, and I'm gonna throw out Cam Sutton. Why not? Why not?
Cam
We'll put Cam in that category.
you can't say
But
Cal without saying Jerry though, because them.
yeah, Jerry Jacobs did his thing too. I can't leave that out. And oh yeah, Jameer Gibbs going off like that with 26 carries. What a
100,
damn
152 yards and a tutty.
I
yeah.
told
That
y'all.
that that was that was a special one.
Told y'all.
That was a beautiful tutty.
This
Hey,
thing,
Alabama.
what a way to have a breakout
he
game on
almost
Monday Night Football when everybody's watching.
he almost outgained them on the ground by himself without the receptions.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And
that is my key stat of the game. The Oakland Raiders had 157 yards total. When
And we
we're not talking rushing yards, we're not talking passing yards. I'm talking combined. Porn star Jimmy connected 10 passes out of 33.
He ain't connected with the receiver until like the fourth quarter, right?
we're second half.
Yeah,
and you know what's crazy about that? We have 486 yards, better than
right.
they did.
That's
Mm-hmm.
net yards. Gross yards, we had 536 at one point. They put it
Yeah,
up
they
on the
gifted them some
screen.
yards on penalties.
Penalties and set
Seven,
in the one sack.
17 first downs. One punt for the Lions. One.
What was their third down conversion rate for the Raiders? What was it? 1 or was it 2? I think they had 2 out of 19.
That sounds right.
Yeah, sounds
That
about
was the
right.
best. That was the best we've done on third down all season versus any team, good, bad, and different, whatever.
Third down efficiency, they was 1-9, and we was 6 for 14.
Yeah, we were 6 of
Crazy.
14, so almost 50%, which is way better than what we've been averaging. And they were 1 of 9.
I'll tell you one thing about this defense, man, is that
Braylon Dennis says 1 of 19.
wow. I'll tell you one thing about this defense, man, is that the offense has shit in the bed a couple of times, and the defense has picked up and wiped our ass.
Oh, 1 and 9. Okay.
You know, because like
He corrected himself.
you take that fumble at the red zone. What did the defense do? They got a 3 and out. Should have got a safety, but still, I mean, they literally shut that whole offense down and got the ball back to us at the 50-yard line. And we've seen this all year.
When we threw a pick, they threw a pick right back to us.
The AG defense, baby.
Oh yeah. And you know what's crazy? And you know what's crazy about that? We still won, even though we had 3 turnovers. Still won the game.
That's not doesn't happen very
We
often.
can't
So
keep
that's
doing
a
that,
good
though. We
sign
cannot
right
keep doing
there.
No, that is not conducive to winning football. It
No.
cannot happen that much. Now,
You-
granted, 2 of them are fumbles, which fumbles happen.
Yeah.
The biggest one was the pick 6, but it ended up not costing the game, which is what's crazy. Because
Right.
on the 2 fumbles, we stopped them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And after that pick six, what go back and do?
And you know
Same thing he
Nate the
always
Great.
does.
And you know Nate the Great. I would say this: our defense did a hell of a job containing Devontae Adams. He had like what 7 targets and only
One
1 reception.
Dude, that's Cam shutdown, man. I mean, if you look at Cam's stats against receivers this year, I don't think anybody's over 40 yards against him.
They brought it up. They said, "Oh, with that connection, Jimmy G has thrown to 10 different receivers."
Yeah. He's an elite cornerback,
And
man.
Braylon
Nobody's
Dennis,
talking about.
you're exactly right. This is what I wanted to bring up. The same old Lions, if we had 3 turnovers, we can't win that game.
Nope.
Not at all. Not even close.
Can we just stop
If
saying the same
if
old lines?
Stafford had a running back and a wide receiver do a fumble and he threw a pick 6, that game's lost by 16 points minimum.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you watch great teams, even like the Eagles, the Chiefs, and all that, if the offense fucks up, usually the defense is there to help them back to get them the ball back. So it's just complimentary football, man. That's all it is. And this is a complimentary team. They
Yes.
play well with each other.
And what was the biggest thing that told you we probably weren't getting a flashy player other than cap space? Think about something that was said last week by Dan Campbell on Monday. What did he say, Nate?
Shit, I don't know. He says a lot of things.
We discussed it very much in detail.
He's happy with what they have, and he trusts Brad Holmes 100%.
The chemistry in his locker room.
The chemistry of the locker room is the biggest thing. Yeah. Because look at Chase Young. What has he been this year? A distraction. Montez Sweat, while everybody wanted him, I did a deep dive into his stats. The Bears overpaid giving a second-round pick for him because this year he has his lowest pressure rate and his lowest sack rate of his career.
And also to add, Dan Campbell did say that Houston might be back soon. So there's another added piece that we're going to get back.
He said Houston's supposed to be back right after the bye and shortly thereafter CJGJ.
That's
because
awesome,
he didn't require surgery. So that's more depth in this secondary. That means we got 5 guys that can play safety, and 2 of them are nickel/safeties.
And Jeremy, mind if I add? This is what I want to say. It doesn't, to me, there was no need to ruin the rhythm and chemistry at all. It was no need for that. We had guys coming back, like you said. We had guys coming back, and we're going to be the more healthier team coming into the second half of the season. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, I know people were complaining about that, but let's move on from that and be happy that we're 6-2 and we're sitting at a bright spot.
Not only that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I would say everybody watching over there on the Facebook side, if you jump over to YouTube, I'll see your comments. I cannot see them while live for some reason. Facebook isn't allowing them to show up on Restream. So please come over to the YouTube side, watch it there. I heard it's a better watch anyways from the YouTube side. But that's another story.
Not only that, but to piggyback off Chicken Nugget, the thing is, to be honest with you, I don't think there's any team in the NFL that takes more pride in who they pick and who they draft. And the reality is that everybody that's on that practice squad at some point might play for us. And they've made that very clear because they understand that this team has luck with injuries and they're going to need those players to be ready to go. And they have shown that they're not afraid to bring a Kiwasaka Ioti or whatever up. They're not afraid to bring Dan Skipper up. They're not afraid to bring up, somebody else like a Chase Lucas. Like they know they got made ready players. And the reality is that, a Montez Sweat or a Chase Young doesn't fit the mold of what they want. They want football players, but they want low-key football players. They don't want me. They don't want me guys.
They don't want the me first guy.
Piggyback off what you were saying. He said that when the 50-man roster. If you own this practice squad team, you're going to have a part in this team.
Hell yeah. They look at that as a whole 53-man roster, even on the practice squad, and it's true. They always bring up players. Always.
Y'all realize the only player that hasn't been called up so far once this season is Trevor Nowaski from Saginaw Valley State. Everybody else has been called up. Outside linebacker Trevor Nowaski, 6'4", 245 pounds, runs a 4.5 40. Was the GLIAC Division II Defensive Player of the Year 2 years in a row.
You know why? Because Rodrigo can't even sniff the field half the time, and because they've got so much depth at linebacker now.
They leave my fullback alone.
I love Rodrigo.
Hey, he had a good block. Broke Gibbs open.
Rodrigo. Hey, as long as you can find a way to contribute, that's all they care about.
Oh, he's a dude, man. He's a player.
Nowaski Nowaski was the guy the last 2 games that had all those pass breakups on the tight ends in the preseason.
And what people have to realize too is that no, Brad Holmes was not going to trade a second or a third round pick for one of these defensive ends. First and foremost, because that is where he cooks the most. That is where he gets the players, the dudes like the Portas, the Branches, the Amon-Ra St. Browns. Like, he has had a track record of finding gems. You think he's going to give up that draft capital? Hell no. That's his baby, man.
I mean,
Not
even his
even
day 3
not
picks have been money other than Jameer Jefferson.
yeah. You know,
And
picking
he
up
got
guys
him in
like
the team.
but picking up guys like that just proves why we're good at drafting. Just proves why we put ourselves in the right position at the right time.
That's how you build a great team, because
Hmm.
at some point you're gonna have to pay your quarterback like everybody else. And the
By the way,
reality is you're gonna have to
go.
fill those spots with rookie players. Look at the Chiefs. They
I'm
paid Mahomes, and they have all their defense is all young.
okay. The first year the Chiefs had Mahomes starting, did they make a big trade at the trade deadline to improve that team?
No.
Did the 49ers with Colin Kaepernick made a big trade at the trade deadline to help that team?
Shit, you're going back now. I don't
No.
think so.
In 2018, did the
Who was
Philadelphia Eagles with Carson Wentz make a big trade at the trade deadline to help that team?
Nope.
No.
The first year a team rebuilding makes the playoffs, they don't make those trades to disrupt the chemistry of what's working with a young team.
Right.
They do that in the second and third years to build and go forward.
Yep. Slow and
Hmm.
steady, man. Slow and steady.
And
Uh,
Because
it's only right we go slow and steady.
Hey,
James
Lions
Burgess.
because
fans, Lions fans, I want y'all to know we're not
James
rebuilding
Burgess says the
anymore.
mark of a good team can win playing C plus and B minus ball. Absolutely. Patty Grimes says, "What's up?" Braylon Dennis corrected you, Nate, saying Coyote Awasika.
yeah,
I
I
was
know.
James
Zika.
Burgess says, "I know he's far from polished, but I think Sorsdal, we might have found the Evan Brown kind of value, and that's huge." Absolutely. I
No,
agree
should
with
have
that
kept Evan Brown.
assessment.
He's balling out with Seattle right now.
And he got hurt and missed a couple games
I don't
too.
think.
He got hurt in our game. We played him.
Well, he
Yeah.
was an Aggie, so I
Yeah,
was rooting for him.
and Evan Brown was great, but we weren't going to pay a backup center $13 million. He got starter money.
Hey, he got that bag. I would have
But,
let him got my
but
bag
he's
too.
balling. He's balling out. Give him credit.
Yeah,
I think I looked
I
at his
understand.
stats. But I
He's
get it.
doing well. But
Yeah,
like I said, he missed 2 games already. The rest
yeah.
of the game that we played and the next one, just
Well, I'm just
saying.
glad we got Graham, man. Graham has been a savior all year. He's a Swiss Army knife on that line.
So
Like, I'm so glad
Okay,
we
y'all
got
can
him.
go Graham
John
Glasgow, Swiss Army knife.
John
Will
Robbins
Harris is
says,
not a Swiss Army knife, okay? He's like a
yep,
dull butter knife.
he is a Swiss Army knife with a broken blade off at the hilt. But anyways, John Robinson says, "Good evening, Smoking Jay and crew."
What's
That,
good?
that
So
being said, let's talk. Face the facts, guys. The draft is in Detroit. It only makes sense keeping our draft picks. Truth, and I have said that. I put that in my article for a reason. We didn't even trade away a this year pick. We traded away a 2025 sixth round pick to get sixth rounder Donovan People Jones, who we could have had in 2020 if we wouldn't have drafted Will Harris.
But
Ironic, ain't it?
also one thing too I want to add is that this team is more complete and more deep than it's ever been before. I don't see the Lions drafting 6 players. I definitely think that the Lions maybe take 4 players and then try to trade the rest for future picks.
I can see him drafting
Because
6 players and put them on the practice squad and develop them. And then when
I,
they
I
need
mean,
somebody,
I mean, maybe, but if you can get a trade and get some future picks, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, because the reality is there's not very many spots up for grabs on this team, y'all. It was hard to figure out where these guys were going to be this year, and so I just see the Lions going forward like they're just going to draft starters and possibly bench players, and then after that, man, they're just going to try to keep getting future assets, which is
And
fine by me. I'm cool
the
with that.
the Vikes made a trade today too. Let's talk about that. They traded for Josh Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. That that
I
being
kind of like
said,
that pick for them.
I the only reason they didn't end up with 30 for 30 Jameis Winston is because the Saints overvalued him and asked for too much in draft compensation. They wanted a day 2 pick for famous
Oh wow,
Jameis.
Josh Dobbs has been playing
But
pretty
Josh
decent,
Dobbs
man.
has actually been playing better than the one game
Yeah,
that Jameis Winston played, subbing in for Carr when he was hurt. So
Y'all know what that
yeah, I
means,
think it
though.
was a good pickup for him. Do I
Kyler
think
Murray.
it's
yeah,
enough to get them to 9 wins this season?
probably not.
Oh, can
No.
I
And I agree with this from Braylon Dennis. We should have kept Corey Durden over Benito Jones all day, every day, because Corey Durden has been playing
Oh,
well.
I love that guy. Yes, yes, he was
what's his
great in
name you just
preseason.
said? The dude's name is
Corey
Jeff?
Durden.
No.
Bra-
He was,
Corey Durden or Braylon Dennis that said
hey,
that.
he was right. We ain't give Angeloni his shout out too. Angeloni balled his
Right.
butt off yesterday.
Anzalone balling out. Yep. Why would we give up draft capital for either commander when the season ends out the door to the highest bidder and save big money for Hutch? Hey, we don't have to worry about re-signing Hutch for another 3 years. This is his
Yeah,
second year. We're gonna, and that's a +1 to Braylon on both parts, Anzalone and Corey Durden. Because I agreed. I love Corey Durden. I wish he'd have stayed here. I wish the other guy that we had from Notre Dame, what was it, Chris Smith, the other defensive tackle that
Something
somebody
like
picked
that.
up off our practice squad? I wish we'd have kept him because he came in and got 2 sacks in his first game for somebody
yeah. That
else.
preseason, that last preseason game against the Panthers, man, where Durden balled out on literally 2 or 3 plays. Yeah, I liked him a lot. He became a fan of mine.
That being said, we only have one team with a winning record left on the schedule now. Everybody else is 500 or less. It's the Dallas Cowboys in week 17. And the only reason we might play starters in that game is for pride. In a way, I hope we have the season wrapped up by Thanksgiving,
Yes,
and
that
all
would be
we're playing
amazing.
for is the number 1 seed.
Oh my God, how awesome would that
Yo,
be?
so I understand why you feel that way. I want us to go full force against Dallas and beat their ass. I can't
Right, but
stand.
I'm just saying, if we've got the number 1 seed wrapped up because we beat Minnesota the week before, you know what you do the last 2 weeks because he should be healthy and on the active roster back by then? Let
Shit.
Hendon Hooker throw.
They
Don't
gonna put listen, you don't they gonna put they don't put Hooker in this season. Please
No,
put
no,
don't.
Teddy
no. You,
B.
you understand what I'm saying there, though. To
Yeah,
protect Goff against somebody like Micah Parsons,
Put
I mean, I would
Khalil
rather have Teddy
Herbert.
B back there. I
yeah,
mean, I'm
put
with you on Goff. If there's not a
don't
if there's not a reason to play, yeah, for sure.
don't throw Hooker in there first game against
So let's talk about this trade because we got Donovan People-Jones, who was a former 6th rounder picked by the Browns in 2020. And like I said, they picked after us because they had a winning year that year. Remember,
mm-hmm.
we could have had Donovan People-Jones instead of Will Harris.
Mhm.
Would we be making that trade for Will Harris today? Think
Yeah,
about that.
now you better take your camera off your dad, did
Knock
Yeah,
that clock off. Yeah,
it's pretty
absolutely.
something to think about. It's pretty much something to think about right there.
Because his cap hit with being a 6th rounder in the last year of his contract, which is the biggest part of the contract for a 6th rounder, is 1.5 million. You know what this is the equivalent of? Exactly the move that I said the Lions would do if they didn't trade for anybody at all. A vet minimum that barely counts against the salary cap. Is that not what I said, Neil?
you right. A lot of people mad because we ain't gonna get a. Listen, I told y'all, me and Jeremy telling y'all for weeks. I was surprised they even made a move.
I
I mean, so kudos to go making the move. So all y'all can get talking about they
You
made a move.
just added more depth to a team that's already deep already.
that is funny. That's a +2 to James. Want a good laugh? When Fields comes back from injury, Chicago has the second best QB in the division. Oh, that's a crack up. But that being said, I think that was a bold move by Arizona because
Kyler Murray.
they just brought Kyler Murray to the active roster after the release of the new Modern Warfare, and we all know he does not open a playbook after Modern Warfare comes out and he has a new coaching staff.
Yeah.
That's a very bold move to give up on a guy that was starting and actually won you a game against a future playoff team. And don't tell me Dallas isn't a future playoff team.
And that team believed in him in Arizona too, man. For
Yeah,
real.
those
And he
players
only had
were
one
balling
interception.
out.
You don't have one interception all season or something like that.
Oh, Chad Datima's calling you chicken butt nugget, Joseph Jones.
They just pay Kyler Murray, so there's no reason why they would keep Josh Dobbs.
And they got to figure out.
Yeah, that's real funny.
They wanted assets because they know that they're probably going to have a not good year or still going to probably not going to do very much this year. So they're looking for the future.
Here's the thing: if the season ended today, do you know what the top 3 draft picks would be?
Chicago.
No, because Carolina won. It would be
Oh, that's
Cardinals,
right.
Carolina, then Chicago. They would have the 2 and 3 picks, so they don't even get a chance at Caleb Williams.
I actually.
Oh my God, Will, I'm so happy for you. I didn't even know Carolina.
I actually see a team that has a fucking quarterback that they like getting the number 1 pick, and what do you do? Do you take Caleb Williams or do you fucking keep your guy you have? Because that's going to be one. That's going to be like a Jordan Manute Bowl kind of situation.
And Chad Datima, there is a big chance that happens because I said the same thing. Badgett has looked very composed in the pocket, has done very well reading a defense and going for what he can instead of trying to take the big shots and having a pick happen downfield.
I mean, Baggett's all right, but I don't see him even staying as the starter for Chicago.
Fields is coming back.
If he wins another game before Fields come back, that's a discussion they're going to have.
I think it's already a discussion, but
me and Jeremy go back and forth about this all the time.
But they gotta play Fields, man. I mean, the whole fan base has already gone shit right now.
The whole fan base has already said Badgett is better than Fields already.
Yeah, but how do you swallow that pill? Like, once.
What?
How do you swallow that pill?
If Pauls wants to keep his job, think about it. The fans will call for their head if Justin Fields comes out and has a 4-pick game.
They're kind of a losing situation.
It is a losing situation. Yeah. They got a dog shit O-line. They got good wide receivers. An okay running back. They don't have anything great there, do they?
Nope.
And then they got a mediocre defense that's showing signs of improvement with people that wanted to be traded out and didn't.
Got some overpaid players too.
Oh, they got plenty of overplayed players. You look at what Tremaine Edwards and TJ has done for them versus what Anzalone did for us for less.
It's crazy. So glad we got Brett Holmes, man.
Chicago has been through 25 QBs over the years. Fields will be 26. If you throw in when they were the Chicago Cardinals, it's been more.
Yep.
It's crazy
Everybody
to think
forgets that the very first franchise in the NFL was the Chicago Cardinals.
I kind of remember.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think that next year, literally all 3 of our rivals could literally have a whole new quarterback, and we're the only ones that still have Goff. Yeah.
Because Kirk Cousins might be done for a career depending on how he heals.
But I don't think he's gonna come back either. I think
that's messed up because his trade value was real high. Minnesota lost out a lot on that one. Right?
They should have traded him when they had the
What
chance.
What did I say after he beat the 49ers? They should have traded him that week, and I agree with Colin Cowherd on that take because you will never get a better ceiling of draft value than what he was worth that week.
Oh yeah, they got greedy. I
mean, you could, but you could not start him though.
I understand, but they should have traded him and let Jaron Hall live or die in the next game.
Yeah, I wonder if Viking fans are pissed because, you lose Kirk Cousins.
I don't feel bad for, but I don't feel bad for Minnesota.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. I wonder if Viking fans are pissed that Poles now. I mean, not Poles. That dude's name. I don't even know his name. I can't say it.
Quezzy.
Yeah. are pissed at him because they're like, okay, we lost Cousins, so yeah, now we can get Caleb Williams. He wants to come here. And now they got Josh Dobbs, which it means they probably will get a couple more wins and keep them out of the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, which is fine by me. I don't want Caleb Williams going anywhere in our fucking division.
As a general manager over there, you're looking at the division. You see how weak it is. You could be the number 2 seed and get a wild card seed. You're going to try to take your chances.
All right, Will has his hand up. He wants to say something.
Jaron Hall's actually starting the next game, ironically. They said we're going to give him a try and we'll see what he's made of.
Yeah, because Dobbs ain't going to be ready by the time.
DC 801 says, Happy Halloween, men. Going out bar hopping, round 2. Fuck, 7 a.m.'s going to come early.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be rough for a lot of people.
Good
Be
luck,
safe,
DC,
man.
because I have to,
Be safe.
I have
be
to work.
safe.
I'm going
Watch those
to
little
after
ones.
this show.
Be safe and don't forget to wrap your Halloweeny.
Oh, God.
Now, one night have you cost you 18 years.
That or you come home with something Ajax don't wash off.
like in Men of Honor, when he talks to his troops, he's like, hey, remember y'all, one night stands may be one night, but syphilis lasts forever. Dismissed.
Absolutely.
I love that line.
When we were singing Cadence running down the road, it was don't let your dingle dangle dangle in the dirt. If you must let your dingle dangle, tie it to your shirt.
Oh my God. All right, back to Lions talk.
Yeah, for sure. We sweeping Vikings, Bears, and Packers this season, no doubt at all. I still say, until it happens, I don't believe we win in U.S. Bank Stadium. It's a curse for Dan Campbell so far.
We can do it.
We can do it. We should have did it last year. What happened? We got Justin Tuckered by a rookie quarterback, a rookie kicker.
At least the games have been close, so it's just like that hair of a margin. We can turn that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying we can't beat them. I'm saying until we do, I don't expect it.
Oh, that was like that for Lambeau for a while, and now we own Lambeau.
Oh, ever since we won the second time there, I said we're not scared of Lambeau anymore. It doesn't matter if it's at the end of the year or the first of the year. We're gonna whoop that ass.
Instead of the frozen tundra, it's the blue tundra.
Facts.
Wait, do I need to show everybody what Lambeau Field is again? It's Ford Field North.
I figured you were when I gave you that.
Oh man, I deleted it.
It's okay. The blue tundra.
It's Ford Field North. By the way, guys, was it just me, or did any of y'all have a tiny bit of pity for Devontae Adams being stuck in an offense that putrid? Not at all.
No.
You know what? Let's go back.
I want to play with my college quarterback.
2 years ago, when he was still with Aaron Rodgers and we played in Lambeau Field and beat their ass, who was it that covered him like white on rice? Of all the people that year.
Okuda. Jerry Jacobs.
Amani Oruwariye.
Oh my God.
He got the pick. He got the pick in that game, remember? It was him and Joseph.
I remember that.
Right.
Oh wait, no, 2 years ago Joseph wasn't even there. Who was it? Because that wasn't when Walker was hurt. It was the other safety that we had at that time.
The one that played for the Ravens?
Yeah.
No, Elliott?
Yep. Elliott was last year too. I said 2 years ago. It was Walker
ahead of Bo.
Ahead of Bo. That's who it was. The last
there
of
you
him.
Go. God damn,
we
went back there.
Last year, our defense was shit the bed in that Vikings game. Yeah, and a piss poor call to go for it with the lead on 4th down at midfield.
I'm about to say
that was
bad coaching decisions made us lose that game.
Because that's what gave them the short field. They only had to move it 15 yards to get in the field goal range, and that guy hit it from exactly his field goal range from college, 51 yards. He did ask for it, true that, but it reminds me of when Moss went to the Raiders and that song, Oh Randy, started making the rounds.
Yeah, he definitely put that on himself, man. He wanted to go and play with Derek Carr. Derek Carr goes to New Orleans, and he's stuck with Jimmy Garoppolo. And you seen the reaction. You seen it. I ain't got to repeat what he said.
Oh,
you seen it. We all seen it.
He knew what he signed up for. He knew what he signed up for because at some point, Carr was going to be gone.
See, but
In my eyes,
if
in my eyes,
Devontae Adams wanted to get the fuck out of there, you know what he should have been saying prior to that game? Then, oh, Jimmy G's a good quarterback, and I like playing with him. You know what he
Trade
should
me.
have said? Jimmy G's a piece of shit, and I want to get far away from him as I can. That motherfucker can't hit water with sand from a
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for him because in my eyes, he's still a Packer.
Dang, Chad.
Damn, Chad,
That's a-
I'll be at that Dallas game. It's costing $2,500 for tickets, airfare, rental car, and
Holy
motel for
shit.
2 people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Chad, you
ridiculous.
blowing a lot of money, buddy. You
It's
blowing
I'll
a
be there.
ridiculous.
I'll
lot
be
of
there for
money,
It's
Braylon
ridiculous.
Dennis,
but it's worth
Dennis,
it for you.
thank you for echoing my sentiment. Devontae Adam made his bed. He needs to lie in it. And
Hey,
it's the truth.
yes.
I bet that bed kind of comfortable all that money he got though. So shit.
Oh, he ain't
Yeah,
complaining.
no.
Come on, man. He's doing
He
Taco Bell
made that bed.
commercials.
He's
He's
got the
good.
$30 million, but the mattress has bed bugs.
Are you sure? I
Fucked
think
up.
it's a water bed.
That's fucked up.
And they
I
didn't
think
trade
it's
him
a
today.
water
They didn't
bed.
trade him. So,
Yeah,
you know,
they-
he's stuck with the team for at least this rest of the season. So, you know, they got to
And
figure it out.
Here's the interesting thing. In the off season, let's say we do want to trade a day 2 pick. You know whose dead cap clears up to where they can actually get rid of him? Because it's the second year of a it's the second year of a 3-year deal of somebody we'd rather have opposite Hutch.
Crosby?
Crosby.
Oh, man. I would want Crosby now.
Hey,
That
I
guy
can see
was
the
a home
franchise
wrecker.
tagging him and everything else like that. They ain't gonna let that man walk out the door.
No. He's just signed.
Jeremy and
No. You understand. You're not understanding what I'm saying. It'll be the second year of his 3-year contract. He just got extended this year. The dead cap clears up enough where it doesn't cost him more than what he makes. And if they wanted to move on to rebuild this team and get like a second round pick plus a future first, I would definitely make that move.
Oh, yeah.
2025 first and a second round for Max Crosby to be opposite Hutch on a 20.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about Max Crosby? If you watch the game, you'd think he had like 10 sacks on us, and he had no sacks, but he had a lot of impact.
Oh yeah, who was it that got the sack? It was the other DN, wasn't it?
I thought
Yeah.
that was a lineman.
Yeah, the other DN from the opposite side. But he actually was killing us in the first half in the run game.
He blew up
Yeah, he
J-Mo,
blew
man.
J-Mo up.
Damn.
Oh my God, when he blew up J-Mo, I thought J-Mo was. When I first saw something fly, I thought it was the football, and I realized it was J-Mo's helmet.
How the fuck did nobody block Max Crosby on that play, man? Damn, poor J-Mo, man. He just got laid out to
Hey,
dry
listen,
on that
He
one.
needed that. He needed that hit, man. He ain't have his. That was his welcome to the NFL hit. He ain't had no hit like that yet. And you see,
That's
after that, he
true.
got the goddamn ball.
So, what do you guys think this does? The DPJ trade, Donovan Peoples-Jones for a 6th round pick in 2025.
It just
Will,
provides insurance in case of one of our receivers goes down.
Okay,
We can still move.
Chicken nugget.
I think we'll be just fine. With DPJ, I think we'll use him in the red zone a little bit more often.
I don't know. He's more of a deep threat than a red zone threat.
But he's tall, right?
He's 6'2" and 212 pounds. He's just got a good frame for that size.
He gives another target for Goff.
You want me to answer your question? My turn.
Go ahead, Neil.
It ain't gonna do much. I'm being honest.
You crazy.
I bring
Said the Ohio State guy.
Bro, listen, it ain't gonna do much. You feel me? I'm telling you, it's gonna take him a couple of weeks. It's gonna take him a couple of weeks to get going with this system. And by that time, bro, like he ain't gonna take snaps over Cleve. He ain't taking it over Reynolds.
You don't have to, man.
I think he's gonna be.
You don't have to.
Middle. I think he's gonna be one of
a middle
those
guy
guys who goes over the middle.
Yeah.
Special teams. He be on special teams.
People need to.
You're hating on him because he's a Michigan product.
People need to realize.
I think he's one of those guys who you pass to that goes over the middle.
Chad, I agree. Baggett deserves it. Baggett does deserve a chance to finish the season.
Now let's give Will's chance to answer.
Go ahead, Will.
Yeah, I like I said, I think it's a guy who goes over the middle.
And people need to realize too that he right now is probably the 4th or 5th receiver on this roster. I mean, because you've got Josh, you've got Amara, you've got Leaf, you've got JMO, you've got guys. You're just adding another piece to that receiving core that's just going to make us deeper and more talented. So
He's
yeah,
already more
he's
talented than the guy that just left the team.
right, exactly. So I mean, he's going to be
He was
brought
going through a lot of
upon.
mental issues though too. So
He's going to
Okay,
be
wait,
brought
wait, wait.
up.
Let's go by the statistics last year. Marvin Jones Jr. had less than 50 catches and 500 yards and no touchdowns.
he was the
Last
4th
year,
receiver on that team last year.
and last year, Donovan People-Jones was the 4th receiver for Cleveland, had 61 catches for 839 and 3 touchdowns.
What is his stats this
Who
year
made
so
him think
far?
number 2?
Say
Does
what?
anybody know his stats for the season so far? Donovan
This was the
People-Jones?
first year he got to play as a wide receiver too, but he hasn't been targeted. They've been hitting their rookie, and they're also been hitting their wide receiver 1, Amari Cooper,
That's because they playing with a backup.
because they've been playing with a backup quarterback, PJ Walker. Watson hasn't played much, and when Watson was in, he actually had some decent games.
The way I look at it is, you can bring People-Jones and you can bring up JMO slowly. There's no urgency. You don't have to rush them. I mean, you got Laporta, you've got Gibbs you can throw out there. You got all kinds of weapons, man. Like, this just
Ooh.
adds more to Johnson's hitting list.
Badgett is a UDFA, so it's kind of hard to call him Brock Purdy 2.0. But I will say one thing about Brock Purdy. The first 5 weeks, he looked awfully Tom Brady-esque. The last 3 weeks, he looks like PTSD Carson Wentz.
Yeah, but he's also not having Debo, and he doesn't have Trent Williams. So let's be honest. Those are two.
I'm just
big
saying,
pieces of the Niners.
it's night and day difference.
Yeah. Well, you can see how much Debo matters to that team.
Oh, yeah.
He's like their Amon St. Brown.
I just think Badgett looks like a more composed quarterback overall than what Fields looks. He
can throw from the pocket first and foremost.
Right, and he can read a defense.
Yeah.
And DPJ played 7 games, 18 targets with 97 yards this year. On what was it, 3 catches, I think, so far?
Damn, he hasn't been used at all. No wonder they traded him.
Right. That's why we got him for a bag of chips. A snack-sized bag of chips, no less. Not even the big grab, not the $2 bag. I'm talking about that little quarter bag that comes out of the assortment. That's what we got him for.
Let's just put it this way. He can't be worse than Trinity Benson, okay?
No. You know what? There's your black marks on Brad Holmes' record since he's been here. Michael Brockers, Trinity Benson, and Jameer Jefferson. Other than that, everybody's been
who we brought back. Who we brought back on the practice squad.
Michael Brockers was brought here to get that culture, going.
Yeah, I don't think they really expect a lot out of
the only culture he did was moldy cheese sitting on the bench between his butt cheeks.
He was a big vocal leader when he was here.
He was.
You know what ruined him for being the vocal leader he should have been? What he said about golf 3 days before he was traded. That ruined him in this place.
Yeah.
Oh, he has 8 catches for 97 yards on 18 targets.
I'll give him credit. He helped Aleem a little bit. He probably worked with Aleem. Aleem seems more mature, and I'm not saying these older veterans, like Neil says, they're brought in more to be the coach on the sidelines. And I thought he was going to be on the staff, but I guess whatever he said about Goff, I guess I didn't know about that.
Damn, I just saw a picture of Goff with his wife going out in Detroit for Halloween.
Whew, his wife's hot.
And she was wearing with her tan olive skin, with a blonde wig, and a blue suede jogging suit. Woo!
Where the hell is Goff going out right now in Detroit?
And he's got a top hat and a 3-piece suit on and a cane.
Goff, the man of the city.
Is there a picture? Is there a picture? Is there a picture of that?
It's on Twitter.
I want to see that. I don't have Twitter. I want to see that shit. Yeah, somebody take it. Somebody send that.
You better leave my quarterback's wife alone too, for real. I got your back, bro. I got your back. They might
stop throwing picks. Stop throwing fucking pick sixes, man. Every time he throws a pick, it's a pick six. What the fuck?
He used that for motivation to come back and score. That's how he get going.
God. Like I feel like every time a Lions get a pick, it's always a pick six, man. Like it never fails.
Um,
Like can it just be a
it
pick?
looks like he's trying to be the Mad Hatter, and she
Oh, I
should
gotta
stop.
see this.
I'm gonna download it.
Oh, his wife is fucking smoking hot.
Okay.
She's a
She
nice lady.
is
She is.
smoking
She is.
fucking
She's
hot.
beautiful, man.
Do you
Oh,
see her
Goff
at
did
all?
well.
Goff
No.
shot his shot way above his league. That's way better than McVay's wife. That's all I
I
got to
can't see
say.
Oh
it.
no,
I can't
he's
see
Willy
it.
Wonka for sure.
That's what he got a little Willie Walker look to him.
Ah, he's tall as fuck. That's why. Good for Goff, man.
She looks like a hot Oompa Loompa
Hey,
next to him.
hey, Goff, you deserve it, bro. What you been
You
through, bro,
know,
you deserve it.
one thing I'll say about Goff, and I think Dan Campbell brought it up, or maybe it was Ben Johnson or somebody. I don't know who it was, but he said, you know what, Goff, when he throws a pick, he just moves on to the next play. He doesn't hang his hat. He doesn't
Yeah,
hang
I
He
his
was
head
agree.
pissed.
low. He just
He was
gets
pissed.
pissed and he moves on to the next play. But he doesn't let that shit bother him. He knows he got to be better
Yeah,
the
you
next
have
time.
to.
Yep.
You know,
He
You
goes
have to
in.
erase that.
it's like fuck. Okay, let's go. That's what he said.
And actually, James Burgess brings up another good point. DPJ was getting 2 targets a game or so and playing 83% of their snaps because he blocks downfield in the run game.
That's why he got
And
him,
he is
guy.
incredibly
No block,
strong.
no. He'll get the rock. Yeah, there
Yep.
you go. Ben Johnson
Hey,
knows licking his chops.
and you know, this lines we're gonna rely on our running game too, especially when
Oh
McGregor comes
fuck
back.
yeah.
So
Especially think about this. In week 10, Monty comes back. And then you have to decide if you're going 50-50, 60-40, or 80-20 between those two running backs.
And now Gibbs is kind of popping too. So now you got your tandem going. It took a little while, but we got it. Now we got to stay healthy.
And you know who doesn't have to sniff the field at that point except in
Craig,
garbage time?
Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds. Hallelujah.
Hey, Craig, hey, let's
I
now,
canceled my subscription to Netflix last year.
listen. Let's give the man his props because the man he
No,
has been
no,
playing well.
I agree with
He's
you.
been playing well. So for the game where he averaged 1.3 yards a carry, he been playing.
Yeah, he had a hiccup. He had a hiccup with the fumble. So did Josh. Both Reynolds guys didn't play well. So I expect him to
He
bounce
has
back.
been playing well.
Yeah.
Even a couple
Everybody
games.
deserves a mulligan. You know, hey, we'll see.
Even a couple games Will Harris was in.
Just hold
It's
on to the rock,
But
dude.
it's
I mean,
not
fuck.
it's not Craig Reynolds' first fumble of the season though. That's my problem with him.
He's had 2, right?
Yeah,
This is his
I don't
second or
think he
third,
gets
right?
utilized
Jeez.
at all.
Who?
Shouldn't be.
Craig Reynolds? Yeah.
Reynolds, Craig.
I said last night after that fumble, I wouldn't even let him back in the game. I'd have been running Divine as Zigbo.
Man,
Josh didn't really get anything after his fumble.
No, he didn't come back at all. I think he was in on a couple of pass plays. Craig ran the ball well that game. I'll cut him some slack. I hated him.
thank you.
No,
He
I
played
wasn't
well.
a huge
He
fan
been
of him
playing well.
during
He
that
been
game.
playing well. He been going there and doing what we asked you to do.
He
Except
did
for that one fumble.
mediocre.
He stepped
On
up
a
when
scale
needed.
1
Yeah.
to 10,
He's
I'll say
listen.
3.
He's a y'all go think. We cut him during the 50-man 3 roster and brought him back. He's supposed to be a practice player, a practice squad player. For him to come be a practice squad player and come to triple the way he did, he been playing decent, bro. He opened up that big block he
I'd
had.
say below mediocre.
He's a third running back at best.
So
Thank
you're
you.
telling me if we're sitting at 13 wins, got everything locked up, including the first seed, because the Eagles and the 49ers in their rough shot and Cowboys, all of them have like 11 wins at that point at week 16, and they can't catch us. You wouldn't play your backup the last 2 games.
Yeah, I played my backup.
I'm kind of torn because you want to have momentum going into the playoffs, but you also want to be healthy.
We didn't listen. We didn't play none of our players during the preseason.
Right. That's the thing. Crosby does sound like he wants to be in Detroit. I saw his interview. He was a lifelong Detroit Lions fan.
He gave $1 million to charity in Detroit. Or
Yeah,
Michigan.
while he was here.
And also Jeremy and I saw post game him and Hutch exchanging gear.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, game recognizes game. I don't know. I mean, I know one thing. We gotta get some help from Hutch. We got to get because Hutch can't do it all
Once
by
Houston
himself.
comes back, we should be good.
Yeah.
I do think that's what they're banking on is Houston returning to form, and they're
Yeah.
If
probably
they
not
keep
going
out
to.
of pass coverage, then
Right, I think they're not going to stop being cute. That's your coach that you love so much, Neil, Aaron Glenn, putting them in pass coverage and on special teams.
hey,
Did
I ain't say
Harris
the man.
even play?
Special teams, 4
Oh
snaps.
shit. Jeez, man.
I didn't say the man was perfect. I just say
What the hell happened to Harris?
a lot of the stuff
Will
everybody put on
Harris
him is not
or
his fault.
Charles?
No. Charles Harris.
Oh,
Did
Charles
he
Harris
play?
played. He's part of
Oh.
the reason why we had run stops on that side of the line opposite Hutch.
Oh, okay. I just
He
didn't
had
see
like
him.
4 tackles and 2 assisted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We might have to pick him up again after this year. His contract come up, don't it?
Who?
You know,
Charles Harris.
Harris.
He's got 1 more year. He signed a 3-year contract last year.
Okay.
Hutch yesterday kind of frustrated me, but I was happy too because he didn't get any sacks, and it's like a third game he hasn't had a sack. But also too, because they pay so much attention to him because he's such a ferocious, high motor player that Aleem and guys like Alex ate because of that.
And Walker.
And Walker, yeah. So I mean, he helps, but he's not getting the numbers that we want him to get. But it's more so because there's so much attention being paid to him. You know.
There is another trade that went off that we're forgetting about. Rasul Douglas of the Packers was traded away when he was playing at a top 15
Yeah, I saw
safety
that.
level. You know what that means?
They
The
tape him.
Packers have just punted on the season because now they have no one
Haha,
opposite
FTP,
Darnell Savage.
FTP.
And that's
FTP.
where I'm going to end this show on that note to make all y'all happy because my number one sponsor is FTP, and no, it's not the florist. It is who, Will?
Fuck the Packers.
Let's hear it, everybody.
Fuck the
Fuck
Packers.
the
Fuck
Packers.
the Packers.
Fuck the Packers. That being said, whoever
FTP.
said that being said, anybody who said at the beginning of the season that Green Bay was going to have a good defense, for shame on you in the immortal
They pay
words
Rashawn Gary.
of Gomer
Fuck.
Pyle. I mean, Rashawn Gary's a great pass rusher, but he over pursues in the run game.
Yeah. They paid him a lot of money.
He can pass rush. That's about it. And I want to give a shout out to my other sponsor. As soon as it pops up, Gloss Negron of Saginaw, 989-443-9240. Get a hold of him if you want to get your windows tinted and make your whip look good, like this one here.
Ooh. Nice.
He does a great job. He's up for top 10 in
Y'all, I'm glad you
Saginaw.
didn't put my license plate in the photo. You feel me?
Yeah, I left it out for you, brother. I know you like that Maserati. And then, of course, there's always this Chrysler here, 300 C-Class.
Yeah, I'll grab that one.
Oh, somebody just posted Garrett Goff's and his wife. I'll send it to y'all in the chat.
Yeah.
Damn, she does look hot.
One of my fans just messaged me and said the Bears are going to suck for years. I was like, that's nothing new.
Man.
Well, I want to say thank
say
you to
something?
everybody for showing up. I see Nate the Great left. He's going to send us a picture in the show chat. I want to say thank you to Will, thank you to Chicken Nugget, and thank you to Neil. And I'm going to end this show the way I end every show. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. He popped in just in time. Okay, Neil, we're at this point. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts within here. Thanks for watching. Kneecap biting with the Motor City Lions. And thank you to my guests, Will Vogel, Chicken Nugget, Nate the Great, and Neil, a.k.a. The Bandit.
Let's go,
Check
baby.
him out. Check him out on Bandit Sports YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all y'all in the chat. You've been amazing. For
Go
those that are on
Lions.
the Facebook, and you know what? That's what I forgot to do. I didn't do the victory song, did I?
No, we need to do it. Let's do it.
Forward down the
Down the
field,
field.
a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rah,
Rah,
rah, rah.
rah, rah.
Go hard, win the game. With honor, you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions
Lions victory.
victory.
Go
Go
Lions!
Lions!
You feel me, baby?
One pride,
Let's
baby. We'll see
go.
you.
One
We'll see you
pride.
tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow night with the NFL Roundtable Talks, where we'll talk about more trades around the NFL. Thank you very much, and of course, the weekly pick'ems like we always do.